Hola guys, I'm Diego and welcome back to Agrarian Skies. Now first and foremost here, before we get started, we do have a few quests that we're going to be working on. Learning the skyblock. Oh, that's right, there was an update. They did actually go out of their way to update a few things. So it does look like we're going to have a few other things we have to do here. Now first and foremost, aside from going through those different trees, we are on, or rather, I am on the newest update 2.02, which actually includes multiplayer support. With that, we are actually going to be doing a multiplayer series. You'll probably see that before or roughly around the same time that I get around to uploading this one. Um, anyways, main reason I'm starting this off a little bit, not quite into the quests right away, is just to show you guys something or a couple things rather, that I've been working on in the meantime, just in the process of trying to automate a few things. I actually did go out of my way to make sure that I did have quite a few ingots. I've got, I think, two more. Well, yeah, the shiny ingots and the aluminum I don't really need to worry about too much, but they are things that I will work on. Now, I have updated the design here a little bit. I do believe I've showed you the power generation. I did throw blackout curtains here just to kind of cut things off, make it a little bit more interesting. I did actually have to drop this down a half slab, because if it's actually all the way up, it turns into a mob spawning block, and that can be really annoying as well. I also doubled the number of dynamos we have here, which gives me roughly, how much is it? Well, you get about 560 here, so I think it's about 1,120 or something like that. Anyways, it's quite a bit. I've also added a few extra machines, such as the sawmill. Now this actually gives you balls of glue from rubber wood, which you can use for a few different recipes. You can actually turn balls of glue into rubber bars using the redstone furnace. That one recipe that doesn't work with slime balls or gelatinous balls for some reason. I've also added a pulverizer here that just gives me some extra things. It looks like the textures. No, it's not updated. It's just I've been playing with a different texture pack offline, just to give myself something to look at a little bit different. But just to keep things simple, I'm going to record in the default texture pack so everyone can see the same thing. And now as well, I did actually set up a what's it called? Basically a glass factory here, so I don't have to keep smelting it in the smeltery over there. And I also set up an igneous extruder set to obsidian. This way I also don't have to go out of my way to switch to the one that I have over. I made a few changes to the outside, but overall it still functions the same way. Now, one major thing that I've been working on here, I'm just going to break this and fix this up, just because I don't know if things are going to spawn here yet. I've actually been in the process of setting up a few different mob spawning rooms. Now, I haven't actually finished these yet, but the goal is to have them spawn things like Endermen and Blazes and possibly Ghasts. I probably will have to make that one toggleable. I'll probably make them all toggleable, but anyways, they're all pretty much the same. As you can see here, all the piping above, you can see it's kind of an aesthetics thing. I'm not too worried about it. I do have some plans for maybe putting something on the back ends of these, but for now, I'm just going to leave them as they are. As well, as you can see out there, there is actually something. I just broke everything out to it, just because I didn't want to leave it all out there. But that's actually, I was mapping out a few things for bees, something that I'm thinking of doing in the near future. I may end up bringing Lord in on that. Like I mentioned, I don't really do bees, so we'll see. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys is something that's mostly complete. It's actually far more complete than what I just showed you. It's actually over here. I've automated. Automated the right word? Yeah, automated. I keep saying we. Let me turn down my volume. These cows are loud. I automated a cow breeding farm. Basically, it uses MFR, or Mine Factory Reloaded, uses the breeder to breed our adult cows, of which there are 4, so that we get a decent number of breeding going on, or a decent amount of breeding. Gives us little baby cows. Now, it's hard to see, and I don't want to open that up simply because I know that they tend to try and escape. But there is something in there called a chronotyper. Let's take a quick look at that. The chronotyper. This is the recipe: 3 emeralds, plastic sheets, machine frame, redstone reception coil, and 2 purple dye. Now, you may be wondering how you get purple dye in this. Well, of course, just use lapis for the blue. And to get the rose red, just take your bone meal and use it on grass. I mean, it's one of those things, it kind of slipped my mind for the longest period of time on how to actually get that. And once I remembered what it was, there's the chronotyper there. That made things a lot easier. Now, the chronotyper allows you to move adults or babies, and they do have a 5x5 range. So I actually originally had this a different size and had to remodel it a little bit. You do have to be careful, of course, to make sure that, you know, they're not too close. I actually had them, I think, 3x3s before, and what was happening was these cows were getting pulled all the way to the end, which is not a good thing. So anyways, these guys grow up and they get pulled over here into the grinder, and the grinder actually does something very important. Well, first of all, it collects raw beef for us, and also collects leather, which I need for a stupid number of recipes for some reason. And it also collects mob essence. Now, I'm not going to go down there, but I can reach it. As you can see, we have a tank with mob essence in it. Now, it does say it's only got 1,502 millibuckets. However, that's per individual block, and there are, I believe, 12 down there, so there's actually considerably more. There's probably about 18 buckets worth of mob essence, plus the 4 buckets in each of the auto spawners down below. The auto spawner recipe is such. Magma cream, which is just made with blaze powder and slime balls. Both of those are easy to get. And then the nether wart, which you can get by sifting soul sand or by going to the nether. Honestly, if you can go to the nether, just do it. Save yourself hours of farming soul sand from a sieve. But with that out of the way, guys, I'm going to work on a couple of quests here, and then we're going to try and complete a couple extra things. I am actually going to need to recomplete the learning the skyblock. I didn't realize that they'd added stuff. I do find it interesting, though, the fact that they are actually doing that sort of thing. They're adding extra quests in, so this is actually kind of cool, because it kind of streamlines things a little bit more, especially considering you've got the I'm smelting. So I will be back in a bit. I'll actually work on doing this, and then once I've done that, then I'll be back. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and complete the quest I was just showing you before. We're going to make the pneumatic servo, and we're also going to make ourselves the fluid duct. And actually, before I complete that, I just want to double check this, make sure that it's the opaque version. Okay, good. So this is the correct recipe. There is another recipe you can use with hardened glass, which will make them see-through. But for this quest, you just need that. Let's go ahead and claim our reward. And it's just a basic reward bag, I guess, so it's nothing fancy. Sword of Splintering. Probably going to die fairly quickly with that sword, but it's not bad, I suppose. Now, the other quest that we have here that we can hand in requires the Scented Artificial Hive and the Scoop. Now, the Scented Artificial Hive, you can't look up the recipe for. You actually have to use the seed oil. I don't know if I showed that recipe or not, or showed that quest line or not, but from the bees and trees, you do the beekeeping, which requires an artificial hive and seed oil can. Now, you do actually lose these. You have to manually submit them. And then for the luring the bees, you have to make another artificial hive and then stick it in a barrel with seed oil. So you do need at least 1 bucket of seed oil or 1 can, and then put that inside of a barrel, and then right-click with your artificial hive in the inside the oil, then right-click it again to get it back. So let's go ahead and manually submit this, and we're going to take the bag on the left. So we're kind of raking in the lives right now. We got a greater reward bag. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop some of this stuff in one of these chests. There we go. I'm going to take this back because I believe I do. We're going to make ourselves this last heart here. And we got another iridium ore, so that's actually not bad at all. And another redstone ore, so that's actually fairly good. So guys, I will be back. I'm going to work on a couple more quests, and then we'll be able to continue. Hola guys, welcome back. I do apologize if this seems a little bit strange with the audio kind of changing in between each of the cuts. It is because I've been a little bit busy in between each of these each individual cut here. In fact, this is actually a day or two after the last cut I did for you guys. I kind of ran out of time. And as well, I'm actually using a texture pack, so let me go ahead and switch back over to the vanilla one just to make things a little bit easier here. There we go. So we're back. Now, as you can see, I did make a change to the ground. I changed it to the stone slabs, mainly because I got tired of being able to see through the floor. Now, I actually did manage to do a quest, but I do want to show you guys a couple of things here first, or rather, mainly one thing. Well, I guess there are two things. I did slightly modify this system, like I've mentioned before. I wanted to add some vacuum hoppers in here so that they can pick up everything directly, gold chests, and then it sends everything directly where it needs to go. Let me just turn that down. So it sends everything into these chests and then pipes it out into the other barrels. As well, I did put down a few extra machines like my induction smelter, my energetic infuser, which you need for one of the earlier quests, as well as the transposer and magma crucible for making a couple of other things needed. Now I did manage to do, or rather I did manage to make the deep storage unit, which is required for the massive storage quest. Is a little bit of a pain to make, which is why I'm going to show you this over here. This being an Enderman farm. Now this took a rather long time to get set up. Now it doesn't have to be dark in here, thank goodness, to spawn anything. And it's currently set up so I can just toggle this and it will start spawning things. Now there are four grinders on each side. That way once they spawn in, oops, I switched it to peaceful while I was farming some stuff earlier. But as you can see, once they spawn in, it usually spawns in usually 3 or 4 before the grinders reset and actually kill them all. There we go. And as you can see, I've got about 5 stacks plus a bit of ender pearls. And just turn that on and off as need be. And that just turns on or off the auto spawn and the grinders stay on to kill everything. This system is actually fairly, so far at least, it seems to work fairly well. I'll just go into creative mode just to show you guys how it's set up. Basically, we've got the grinders on the ends here, which are connected with conduits. Those conduits just run underneath and up and around the side here. Connect into the main line. The main line just connecting into our power system that comes from over there as well. It appears I have a little bit of a dark wood. I'm not sure how those got there. Those were supposed to be stone. Anyways. I guess then we've got the item ducts, which pull items out of our grinders and move them over here, well, over to our barrel here. And last but not least, of course, we've got our fluid ducts, which carry mob essence from, they pull it out of the grinder and run it up. Now I'll do this on the other side real quick, just because it's a little bit easier to see. Runs it up here, connects it into this system, which then goes back down and underneath to the auto spawner. But this, having a hard time here. This pipe is the one that goes over to our tank. Now, as you can see, this is empty, so it is actually using it a lot faster than it's able to put it back in. So let me just take a quick look and see how much is in here. 4,000. So at the rate we're going, it's not able to keep up with itself quite yet, just because I don't have a constant mob farm. I might set up, or I might modify my other mob farm to be able to get more for this. But for now, that's good enough to give me enough ender pearls to handle that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next quest we get. We actually get the digital storage quest, and this is the one that gets us started into AE or applied energistics. Now, of course, this is going to take me a little while to craft all this up. I'm not sure if I'll get through all this tonight, but obviously this is all going to be one episode for you guys, so it's not really going to matter too much for you. But as you can see here, the little description, it just kind of explains that, you know, AE's basically it's an electronic storage system, and it gives you a good way of storing everything in one block rather than, you know, having a big wall of barrels like I do right now. Obviously, this isn't very compact. Well, it is nice to be able to grab things as I need to. It's not very functional, so I'll be taking this down eventually in replacement and replacing it with AE, but for now, the barrels will work. So I'll be back once I've crafted a few more things for that next recipe. And as well, just a quick update here. The bees and trees, I will be uh, probably work on making the apiary, and then we'll be getting Lord in here with us, hopefully for the next episode. It's just been a little bit time consuming here. Our schedules really haven't timed out quite yet, but hopefully soon. So I'll be back in a bit, and we'll hopefully hand in a few more quests. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here. I will be back in the near future. I actually have a few things prepared for the next episode that I'd like to just try and set up and show you guys. So I will be back once I've done that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions or concerns or any questions about any mods or any systems you've seen in any of these episodes, just let me know, and I'll always comment back. Or if you want any pictures or anything like that, obviously just let me know. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I've been Diego, and I will see you next time.